Oh, good morning to Vaishnav and his team. Today, we are going to discuss, we are trying our level best to uh, understand what is given in the second chapter of the first part for the first term examination portion. That is solutions. Very easy. Okay. So, all the physical chemistry chapters, the first four chapters, on the theory, they will ask numericals. Hmm, like that. So, numericals plays very important role in these first four chapters. So next two are electrochemistry and chemical kinetics, which are again more interesting chapters. Okay, every chapter its own beauty and its own way of understanding. Okay, right. So today we start the chapter number second, solution. Hmm? Okay, so first meaning. First is what meaning. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances, the composition of which may vary between certain limits. That means it is a homogeneous mixture. Vary between certain limits means what? Again, that depends upon how much percentage of one particular component is there and the other one is there. Okay, so that matters. Which one is major? How many are in the minor? So all that limit matters. Hmm? So that's why. So in the case of what he has given example, in the case of alcohol and the water, both are liquids. Which one is a solvent? Which one is a solute? Whether it is a alcoholic solution, whether it is a water solution, we don't know exactly. Okay, so that limit matters. And in the case of a sugar solution, okay, sugar solution, one example I took was 60% sugar is there and 40% water is there. That is strong sugar solution where we have 60% by mass sugar and 40% by mass water. In that, 60% sugar only, more only. So more only. So then will it become a solvent? So that was the point of discussion. Hmm. So therefore, now you see the bottom rectangle. So this one, solvent is that component of the binary mixture which is in same physical state as the solution will be. Solution will be in what physical state? In the same physical state, solvent will be there. That is the one idea, one point you have to keep in the mind, so that no confusion between the limits. Okay, well, let it be in any limit. Okay, so solution, whether it is in the solid state like our alloys, solution in the liquid state like aqueous solution, or a solution in the gaseous state like our air. So in what state solution is, in the same state solvent will be. This point is most important, and this is normal definition for the binary solution, because in the 12th class we don't discuss the complex mixtures where we have more than two. So in that, which one is a solvent? So that is a separate chapters are there, higher classes. So now in the 12th class, as a basic foundation, so we discuss only about the binary mixture. So binary mixture is the mixture of only two. In that, one is solvent, one is a solute. The minor one is solute, major one is solvent. All these points already made clear in the lower class. It's a small recap today. Okay. So today's session is a recap for the tomorrow's session. Okay. Now these are types of solutions. Keeping in mind physical states of matter. Okay. So sometimes solute is in the gaseous state or liquid state or the solid state. So it is a combination. Solid in the gas, gas in the solid in the solid. How we have learnt in the ninth class colloidals. Okay. So in water dispersal phase, in what dispersal medium. So all that in the same way, normal solutions are also classified, are also categorized depend upon the physical state of a solute as well as a solvent. But the one thing is guarantee, major one solvent, minor one solute. So accordingly, examples are given on the fourth column of the table. So kindly go through as a recap. Now this is important because this will continue. This we learnt in the ninth class and the little extra in the 12th class. Even in the 11th also we learnt. Ninth we learnt. 11th in the first chapter we learnt. Now 12th also we are learning in the solution chapter. Okay. So this is regarding what? This is regarding concentration of a solution. How much strong a solution is. strength of a solution, concentration of a solution. Okay, so in a glass of water, 1 spoon of sugar. In the same glass of water, second example, 2 spoonful of a tablespoonful of sugar. So second one is more concentrated than the first one because the percentage or the amount of solute is more in the same or the known quantity or the volume of solvent or water. So like that, so we express because solution means what? It is a combination of the solute and the solvent. So how much solute is there in a given amount, in known amount of a solvent? If I change the volume of a solvent, what happens to the concentration? So to decrease, to increase. So all those we learn because this will helpful for the analytical chemistry. So in the blood, percentage of iron, in the blood, the number of platelets. So they calculate the percentage wise. Okay. So there. So standard result is like this. Normal value is like this. Whether for the normal value it is more or less. How much more, how much less. So for all these analytical calculations, we want the knowledge of what? This concentration of a solution. So we learn in the 12th class and we apply in the higher class. Okay. So let us understand once again a little in detail regarding the concentration of a solution. Okay, right. So what is concentration of a solution? For a given solution, the amount of the solute dissolved in a unit volume of a solution is termed as the concentration of the solute or the solution. Solutions containing relatively high concentration of solute are called concentrated, while those relatively low of solute are termed as dilute solutions. An example already I give 1 tablespoonful of sugar in a glass of water and a 2 tablespoonful of sugar in the same glass of water. So second one is more concentrated because the percentage of the concentration of the solid is more. Okay, so this is what general way of discussing. But in terms of calculation, in terms of numerical, in terms of formula, mathematically, we express in different way. So there are different ways of expressing the concentration of a solution. So those ways we learn today in this session. Okay. So first way is what? One way is mass by mass percentage or weight percentage. Mass and weight both are same. Only difference is gravity part that we learn in the physics. But in the chemistry, mass, weight are taken together. Okay. So in the chemistry, there is no confusion. Only in the physics we clarify all those. So otherwise, whenever I speak mass, it means weight only, and weight means it is mass only. So it is mass by mass or mass by weight or weight by weight percentage or percentage by mass by weight. So it is defined as the amount of solute in grams present in 100 grams of the solution. How much solute is there in 100 grams of the solution? Okay, so that means we are fixing the amount or the volume of a solution 100 gram, 100 gram. In that, how much amount of solute is there? Accordingly, we multiply with 100. That gives the mass percentage of that solution. So in terms of equation, mathematically, mass percentage is equal to mass of solute by mass of solution into 100. Ninth class repeated. Otherwise, in a different way, mass of solute. So mass of solution is written as a mass of solute plus mass of solvent into 100. So mass of solute or volume of solution plus in terms of density also we can calculate together into 100. That is also called as mass percentage. But this formula normally we don't use. Only the first two we'll use. This one in the higher class. But let us see if it comes in the end questions of textbook, we'll use it. Otherwise, we will not use it. Okay. So the ratio of mass of solute to the mass of solvent is termed as mass fraction. This one, mass of solute and mass of solution. Okay, mass of solvent. Sorry, solvent is not solute. Okay, mass of solute to the mass of solvent. This is what mass fraction. No, 1/2. Like that, solute by solvent is a mass fraction in terms of mass. Okay, so that means what? Once again, it is written in a different way. Mass percentage of solute equal to mass fraction into 100. In terms of mass fraction, it is written in this way also. Okay, right. So one example is here on the right side with the blue color. So just to understand what is meant by mass percentage. So what is the weight percent of a urea solution in which 10 gram of urea is dissolved in 90 gram of water? Sorry, 90 gram of solution. Okay, so it is 10 by 90 plus 10. That is 10 by 100. Okay, that gives you 10% mass by mass. Okay, simple, same ninth class. Okay. Second way, volume percentage. Volume by volume. Volume of solute by volume of solution into 100. There mass by mass, here volume by volume. So it is defined as the volume of a solute in ml present in 100 ml of solution. 100 gram, 100 ml here. Okay. So 10% solution of HCl by volume means that 10 ml of HCl is present in the 100 ml of its solution, means 90 ml solvent is there. That is the meaning, because this we use in the market 10% HCl on the bottle, 10% hydrogen peroxide, 10% of sulfur drug in the ointment, or 10% of menthol in the cough syrup. So all these percentage we use in the pharma industry. So where they have to mention on the label that how much is there, so that doctor or you will come to know its knowledge or information. So what for it is used, not all it contains in what percentage. So every label now government has made a strict order that you should express the quantity on the label, so that everybody will come to know. It is education to all. Okay. Now mass by volume percentage. Mass by mass, first one. Volume by volume, second one. This is mass by volume. It is defined as the mass of solute present in 100 ml of a solution. So mass in terms of volume. Okay. So a 10% mass by volume solution means 10 gram of solute is present in the 100 ml of its solution. Okay, right. So 10% of glucose is what? 10 gram of glucose is present in the 100 ml of its glucose solution. That is the meaning. Now molarity, 11th class. Okay. But the problem is we are not in any practicals in the 11th class. Due to the reasons, and due to the known reasons, already you know. So students reported late. So that time we concentrated on the only theory part. So practical was neglected. So at least this year we will try our level best to enter the laboratory, and we will try to finish off at least some what practicals, because molarity is very important. You will prepare in the laboratory, so you will weigh and you will prepare. Okay. So what is molarity? So now we will discuss only theory part using the 11th class knowledge. So it gives the number of gram molecules of the solute present in 1 liter of its solution. Okay. So molarity is equal to number of moles of solute by volume of solution in liters. So in simple way, it is the molar mass of a particular substance in 1 liter of its solution. If I dissolve 40 gram of NaOH, what is 40 gram? 40 gram is the molar mass of sodium hydroxide. Okay, so 40 gram of sodium hydroxide, which is called as the molar mass. Okay, if that is there in 1 liter of its solution, okay, that is taken as 1 m of NaOH. 1 m or 1 molarity of NaOH. So thus, if 1 gram molecule of a solute is present in 1 liter, what is 1 gram molecule? It is 1 mole only. So in terms of 1 gram molecule is doing like this. Okay. So in 1 liter of its solution, the concentration of the solution is said to be 1 molar. 1 molar. Okay. So it is 1 mole, whether it is sodium hydroxide or anything. So 1 mole of any substance in 1 liter of its solution is its molarity m. So it is unit is moles per liter. How many moles in per liter? So it is moles, a mole per liter. That is the unit of molarity. And this is the red part is very important. Molarity is dependent on volume. See, I have prepared 40 gram of sodium hydroxide in 1 liter of its solution. Okay. Then if I add again 1 liter water to that, so that means I am changing the volume. Okay. So when the volume changes, molarity changes. So molarity depends upon the volume. And this volume again depends upon water temperature. If I boil, water evaporates, solid remains there only. So all these are interrelated. So because molarity is dependent on volume, therefore it also depends on the temperature. That means molarity is a temperature dependent. This also we have made clear in the 11th class. But as a recap, once again I am repeating. Now molarity, that is in the kilogram. There it was in the liter. Now it is in the kilogram. So molality of a solution is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kilogram of the solvent. Here solvent is in the kilogram. That is 1 kilogram. So number of moles of solute, there it was volume in 1 liter. Here it is mass of solvent in the kilogram. Okay. So molality is better than molarity because it is in the kilogram. So kilogram remains kilogram only. So it is not a temperature dependent. So best way we is to express molarity, but still in the laboratory for our easy purpose, because weighing easy, volume easy. So we express in the molarity, and all the experiments we carry out in the room temperature. So that much difference is not there in the reading. So 25 temperature it may become 26 or 27 after some 40 minutes of gap or 1 hour. So that will not vary that much. Therefore, though the molarity is the best way of expressing concentration of a solution, but still we use molarity for the easy purpose, user friendly. So always we use molarity, but molarity is the best. Yeah. Now mole fraction. So it is a fraction of a mole. It is a fraction of a mole. So the mole fraction of any component in a solution is the ratio of the number of moles of that component to the total number of moles of all components. If I am having a solution of A, B, C, A component, B component, C component, then what is the mole fraction of A? So mole fraction of A equal to number of moles of A by total number of moles of A and B and C. That is total moles. Okay. So that gives you the mole fraction. That means out of the total present, how much is the A contribution? So out of the 2 halves of the roti, 1 half 8. So half 8. That is the meaning. 1 by 2. So in the same way, it is a fraction of a mole. Mole fraction. So symbolically or mathematically, so mole fraction of the A, XA, it is symbolically. So XA, mole fraction of A, number of moles of A by number of moles of both, because it is only A and B are there in this combination. In the same way, mole fraction of B equal to what? Number of moles of B by total moles of A and B, right? Whether here we have only 2, if you have 10, so mole fraction of the first one equal to number of moles of first one by total moles of all the 10. Separately we will do all 10, then we will say mole fraction of the first one is this much, and of the 9th one, and of the 10th one. But red part, mole fraction of the A and B equal to 1. And if it is having 10 components, mole fraction of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal to 1. See, it is what is the formula here? Number of moles of A by total moles, So total moles by this one. So if you add these two, we'll get 1 only automatically. That's why this also we learnt in the 11th class. So mole fraction of A plus mole fraction of B, that gives unity or 1. Now ppm also we learnt in the 10th, 11th, not in the 9th. It is in the ppm. Okay, first chapter. Parts per million. This is a very useful measurement, which is nowadays used in the environmental chemistry, okay, or soil chemistry, agriculture, horticulture. We express the percentage or the particular component in the parts per million. Okay, how much part is there in the million? That is called parts per million. In short, ppm. Okay. When a solute is present in trace quantities, it is convenient to express concentrations in parts per million. This method we use when a particular component is present in the small amount, trace amount. Okay. So that time only we use ppm. Otherwise, we go for normal molarity or mass percentage, all those. So when it is present in a small quantity, for example, small amount of carbon dioxide is there in a particular area. Okay, so or a small percentage of fluorine is there in the in a particular boreal water. So that is told in the ppm, and that is removed afterwards, filtered. Then we consume water for drinking purpose. So in all those small amount of is there. So recently in the Karnataka in Kaiga, near Karwar, small amount of radioactive hydrogen, that is tritium, was found in the what Kali river. So that people reported. Central team came and took the sample and tested. So it was in the parts per million only, and again rectified. Everything is sealed. So that means all this knowledge will helpful when the particular sample or a quantity is present in a small quantity. Okay, trace amount. That time ppm is the best way. So ppm equal to what? Number of parts of the component by total number of parts of the components in the solution. What is total number? It is in the parts per million, no? So that is why into 10 to the power of 6. So that gives you the ppm. Yeah. One example. One example is given here. What is the example given here? In case of mass, it may be expressed as mass of solute by mass of solution into 10 to the power of 60, not 160. So in typing 6 I have to take upper side, superscript, no, that I have not made. So it is 10 to the power 6. So in case of volume, it may be expressed as volume by volume into 10 to the power 6. So concentration in ppm can be expressed as mass to mass or volume to volume or mass to volume, okay, in any way, in any form. An example, atmospheric pollution in cities is also expressed in ppm by volume. It refers to the volume of the pollutant in 10 to the power of 6 units of volume. So 10 ppm of SO2, now ppm value came, no, the importance of ppm. So 10 ppm of SO2 in air means what? 10 ml of sulfur dioxide present in the 10 to the power of 6 ml of air means 1 million. Okay, so that means, so 10 ppm means 10 ml of SO2 in 10 to the power of 6 ml of air. It's very small amount. Very 10 to the power of 6 ml air, and there is only 10 ml. So very small amount, but still that percentage is a hazardous because we don't want air to be polluted. So this all idea will come to know from the ppm knowledge. So please go through this MCQ, very easy. So as an assignment, you kindly, because after the session, a recorded version is what uploaded in the school website. So please go to the school website. Whatever I discuss, is everything is available. All subjects, all chapter wise, whatever, all teachers, all that is available because it is made by chance if you miss. That is available in the school website. Okay, so please solve in the free time these 4 MCQ, and this is the question I have taken from the textbook just to understand the concentration of a solution. Okay, so calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in a solution containing 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. Okay, so 20% of ethylene glycol means what? Means in 100 gram of solution, 20 gram of ethylene glycol is there. That is the meaning. Okay, because now already we understood different ways of expressing concentration. So 20% of ethylene glycol means 20 gram of ethylene glycol. Okay, so what is the meaning? The meaning is solvent. So normally in ethylene glycol, the best solvent is water. So 80 gram of water, 20 gram of ethylene glycol, that gives you the concentration of ethylene glycol, which is equal to 20%. Now, what is moles of ethylene glycol? 11th class formula, mass given by the molar mass. So mass, what is mass given? Ethylene glycol is 20 gram, 20% is 20 gram. So 20 gram by molar mass of ethylene glycol. See, here I have done 62. So that gives you the 0.322 mole. So 20 gram of ethylene glycol means 0.322 mole of ethylene glycol. In the same way, moles of water, it is 80 gram here. So by molar mass of water 18, that gives you 18 gram of water, means it is 4.4 approximately moles of water. So now we came to know how many moles of ethylene glycol and how many moles of water, both we know. So once you know the both, for us easy to calculate the water mole fraction. So mole fraction of ethylene glycol equal to number of moles of ethylene glycol by total moles. So number of moles of ethylene glycol is what? 0.322 by total mole 0.322 and 4.444. So please simplify. That gives you 0.068. You go for usual calculation method. Don't use any what calculator, because in the examination nothing is allowed. Usual way of calculating. So now only you have a practice of calculating using the normal method of mathematics. Okay. So once we come to know the mass mole fraction of ethylene glycol, and ethylene glycol plus water together 1, So if you minus from 1, that gives you the mole fraction of what? Water. Okay. Either by the formula method or by the mole fraction unity method. Okay. Right. One more example from textbook. Calculate the molarity of a solution containing 5 gram of NaOH in 450 ml of solution. That means 5 gram of sodium hydroxide is dissolved in the 450 ml of its solution. That time, what is the molarity? Straight away we'll go to the formula. So moles of NaOH. First, for this we require moles of NaOH. Moles of NaOH means what? Formula. Same formula. Mass given by the molar mass of NaOH. How much mass is given? Mass given as 5 gram. What is the molar mass of NaOH? So I think sodium is 23, oxygen is 16, H is 40 gram. Okay, so mass given by molar mass of sodium hydroxide, that becomes the NaOH. In the moles, it is 0.125 mole. So moles of NaOH equal to what? 0.125 mole. What is the volume? Volume is in 450 ml it is there. So normally in the molarity at the bottom, that is the denominator, volume in the liters. Okay, normally we will take. So if it is a ml, so make it a liter by 1000 ml. Okay, that gives it in the liter. So therefore, molarity equal to, so number of moles by volume in the liter, it is 450 by 1000. 1000 came to the numerator and simplify. Answer is 0.278 mole or molarity. Okay, so in terms of you can go for moles per liter or simply capital M, or in terms of dm per q, all those in the same value in different way. Okay, but normally we express in this way, that is 0.278 m, capital M molarity, small m molality. Now calculate molality of 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid in 75 gram of benzene. So it is the combination of what? Ethanoic acid and the benzene. So how much ethanoic acid? 2.5 gram. How much benzene solvent? 75 gram. So what is the molarity? Right. What is the molar mass of ethanoic acid? That you calculate using the table. So either table is given or molar mass is given in the question itself. Okay. In the examination I am saying. So it is 60 gram per mole. So moles of ethanoic acid. So mass given by molar mass, that gives you 0.0417 mole. Okay. Now what is the molality? Number of moles by mass of solvent in the kilogram. So mass of solvent is in the gram here. Make it kilogram. So it is by 1000. That gives you 75 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram. Right. So therefore molality is equal to moles of ethanoic acid by mass of solvent benzene in the kilogram, that is 0.0417. It is already calculated by 75 by 1000, that again by becomes to numerator. After simplification, it is 0.556 moles per kilogram. That is the molality. So like that, here are some in text examples I have solved. Okay, you very easy. You too, I think you too might have already practiced, but still those who have not done, so please compare your calculation with my calculation. So I think after a comparison, so answer is same. So please practice. So one practice is what? 4 MCQ. Second practice is what? These are in text NCERT questions. Totally there are 5 or 3 I have taken here and 2 I have done here. Okay, so 2 I have done here. So still after the first part, totally the solution is divided into 3 parts. First part is recap, that is today, and tomorrow second part is what? Second part is regarding the some laws, Henry's law, Raoult's law, all those we can learn in the tomorrow's session. Then third part and last part is what? Most important part, colligative properties. Okay, so most of the numericals are on the colligative property only, 90%. Okay, so that is the last part. So there are totally 4 colligative properties we have to learn. So for on every colligative property, one sample, or if time permits, 2 numericals will solve. So that winds up the solution, most easy chapter. Okay. So my dear students, I am winding because WebEx warnings to my laptop. So 11:08. So let us wind up today's session. First part recap, and tomorrow law, and day after tomorrow collective property. With this, thank you very much to the Vaishnav, Rakesh, and their friends. And I am going to wind up today's session. Doubts, if at all, tomorrow we can add, or if at all no doubts, we can solve numericals given here or any source. Okay, so please solve it. So till then, have a nice time and thank you and all.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, if they have not given any solvent, then we should assume it as water, sir.
Yeah, because water is a universal solvent.
Yes.
That's why it is assumed as water is a solvent. If other solvents are there, specifically he will mention dissolved in the benzene, dissolved in the alcohol, like that he will give. Otherwise, what you said is correct. It is water. Hmm? Yeah. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.